Rapid Cargo sponsors the Kubi Springer Show. Hi Joe.
Hello.
Hello. You write for one of the biggest papers in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
You've previously written for Pride magazine, and you also own Shine Media.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about Shine.
So Shine Media was founded, I'd say, about 18 months ago, going on about 18 months actually. And it's a social enterprise that champions diversity within the media industry. So I run mentoring schemes, careers forums and networking events, provide work experience opportunities and funding opportunities for postgraduate qualifications or journalism training courses, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I started it because I started doing work experience when I was about 16, and I'd been, by the time I was about 21, I'd been to about 7 different media companies. I had my work published probably in about 30 different publications. And everywhere that I worked, I noticed that there was a clear underrepresentation of minorities within these companies. And I didn't believe it was because the industry was kind of one where discrimination took place or there was prejudice or anything like that. I just felt that it was a lack of access to opportunities for those young people that were coming from ethnic backgrounds, in particular Black or Asian backgrounds. And so I decided to set up Shine Media, basically just because I wanted to see kind of more people from Black and Asian communities at the forefront of these industries.
And you've ran some fantastic events. I've heard you over the year or so saying, you know, what sort of partners you have with these events. Just tell us some about those.
Okay, so I have an event with BBC Magazines, which it's been made annual, so we had our 2nd year this year.
Congratulations.
I keep saying this year, forgetting that we're in 2011 now. 2010 was our 2nd year of it.
Yep.
And then I held an event at Guardian newspaper. I do quite a lot with ITN, and I work also with Pearson Publishing.
Awesome. And these events, are they career advice for young people from BME sector? Yeah,
so they're basically, we bring in about 150 to 200 young people from our database, and that database is kind of made up of university students and young people that are on kind of journalism courses or a vocational kind of qualifications, community centre type schemes as well that are kind of geared towards journalism. And we basically hold these events, and in them we have about 5 speakers that come each time.
Awesome. There'll
be panellists, and they'll be from different organisations. So, for example, if I mention the event I had at The Guardian, we had Abigail Blackburn, who was the editor of Now magazine at the time. We had Takumbo, who is the owner of Catch 22, which is another journalism kind of academy, different to Shine Media, but also very, very good.
So it's a panel made up of industry experts, and the idea is that the young people get access to people they wouldn't normally get access to.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. So they'll hear the information, they'll hear about their career journeys, what they've come from, what they've had to go through, any challenges, advice on what they think they should do in this current climate, because many of them would have seen the change in the industry. And then they have the opportunity to have a Q&A session. Excellent. And that's just general questions about different people who, because a lot of them there have an interest in journalism, but it may be magazine, it may be newspaper, for example, so they'll ask their questions, and then they have the opportunity to network one-on-one for a drinks reception, which is fantastic because there's nothing like cold calling someone and getting completely ignored.
Absolutely.
And it's much nicer sometimes to speak to someone one-on-one. They can trust their instinct on with how genuine your passion is.
Yep.
And then you can carry on from there.
Joe, I mean, you're young within the industry yourself, and you've done so much. How can somebody get access to coming to your events, or even having you as a mentor? Because I know that you mentor other people who are coming into the industry.
Just email me. I've got no problem mentoring anyone, really. People say I'm their mentors, and I don't like to say. I just like to say I'm their friend. But there's quite a few people that I talk to on a regular basis, about 4 of them at the moment. And then in terms of how they can come to my events, well, just get in touch with me, really. I can give you all my information.
Absolutely.
I've got my website, which is almost up. I've redeveloped it because we've got some new things that we're adding to the company. And so, yeah, they can. It's not hard to get in touch with us. And I always send out kind of to my mailing list different opportunities, so it gets forwarded round. I also use Facebook. I also use Twitter.
Excellent.
So if you follow me on either of those or add me as a friend, you can find out. Join Shine Facebook group as well.
Awesome, awesome. Well, those of you at home, you heard the lady. If you're a budding journalist, whether it be radio, TV or print media, Joanna is your girl. Joanna, thank you so much for sitting down on Exclusive. Simone, thank you for taking the time out.
You're welcome.
You have a charity which is all about empowering people in terms of their financial development. Why did you start that?
Initially, I basically thought that I wanted to give back to my community. I wanted to know the best way for me to do that, to use my knowledge and the experiences that I've had at Barclays Bank and just basically give back. I was reading a lot in the media about, you know, prisoners going, you know, and the fact that it's increasing, there's not enough there aren't enough cells and so on. And I kind of like got a bit fed up with the fact that prisoners, and primarily being young black men or, well, my experience, young black women, were pretty much being written off as not being effective and having not a place within society. I decided that I actually wanted to go back and to prisons and to help them to develop themselves. I actually felt I had a duty as a banker to actually, as I say, pass on my knowledge and my experience.
And what sort of knowledge do you pass on? What do you help them with exactly?
The things that we go through, we do workshops in budgeting and money management. I help them to design business plans and talk through the process of setting up their own businesses and how can they develop that process, applying for funding. Obviously, if you have a criminal record, that's going to be quite difficult. So I help them to overcome those challenges. And we look at debt. A lot of prisoners, about 90% of those prisoners, when they leave prison, they're going to have high amounts of debt. I help them to deal with that on the outside and look at the other options as opposed to doing criminal activities and returning to the prisons.
I can imagine that when you first started, you may have thought to yourself, will it work, won't it work? What have been the key success stories that have come out of this?
Well, within Feltham, we had a young gentleman who started his own business. And that's on the back of a business plan that we had gone through over several months. It was a very long process. He was actually on remand, and I kept liaising with him outside of the prison. You have to be quite careful because obviously security reasons. However, the prison will actually support you when you do that, so to make sure that everybody, for your safety and also for theirs. So I kind of mentored him outside, and he's just established his own business. We set it up, the company, as a limited company.
Excellent.
He's basically going to go into the locksmith business.
Really?
And he's qualified. He's actually trained himself. He's now, I believe, in a couple of months' time, he's going over to China to actually buy the product.
Really?
As opposed, we look at obviously the cheapest investment. Sometimes it's not buying the product in England. It's actually going over to abroad.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. When you get a success story like that, how does it make you personally feel?
That's fulfillment in itself. That's why I do this. I do this to make a change. I want to make a change, and more importantly, I want others to change their behaviours. I believe that you can make mistakes, and obviously you have to be held accountable for your behaviour. However, that does not determine who you are. If you decide that you want to make a change and actually do better, I think that people that need support around you to do so.
Excellent. Well, please continue to do that work. It's fantastic. Now, if you fancy a real treat, then check out our competition of the week. This month, be inspired and win one of 10 copies of my book, What is Fabulous? Full of insights from inspirational women. Just answer this simple question. Which 1990s sitcom starred Joanna Lumley and Jennifer Saunders? Was it A, Ridiculously Fabulous, B, Exceptionally Fabulous, or C, Absolutely Fabulous? Text your answers to 84010, beginning with OTV, Kubi, and your answer A, B, or C. Text costs £1.50 each plus the standard network rate. Entrants must be 18 or over. For further terms and conditions, go onto the website competitions page www.otv.co.uk/competitions. This competition closing date is on Thursday the 31st of March 2011. Entries made after the closing date will not be entered but may be charged. Rapid Cargo sponsors the Kubi Springer Show.